When I was introduced as a 5-year-old, my mom said that I would cower and hide behind her skirt. Not in person, but on paper, I was courageous. With cowboys and Indians and Diver Dan. My home had no TV, so I would go to a neighbor's to watch Diver Dan. I would draw him with his big round metal helmet with the iron bars across his face. With my yellow crayon, I'd color in his bulky bodysuit for his chunky walk across the ocean floor. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, Rotarians, and honored guests, I had 3 serious introductions that bring me to the present day. The first was with Ms. Jones's 3rd grade class. Next was teaching my own classes, and finally an introduction to Toastmasters. Ms. Jones encouraged us to use newly formed sentences in writing stories, and she selected a few of us to share our stories from the front of the class, believing that the class would enjoy this, and it did, but not in the way that she imagined. I called up to the front, and I start reading out my story, and Mrs. Jones leaves. She goes to the ladies' room. Imagine a 3rd grader telling a story to a class of 3rd graders with no adult in the classroom. Little bodies are on the edge of their seats and soon out of them and rolling in the aisles and everywhere else until finally there's the turning of that knob on the big wooden door and Ms. Jones enters. The story's ending has everyone's attention. And Ms. Jones does that on multiple days until she learns what really goes on. With such an introduction to a live audience, I'm encouraged to go back to drawing. And I draw throughout my school career, and fresh out of college, I think I can make a living as a freelance artist. Then I'm introduced to a serious reality. I need to eat. I go back for my teacher certification and return to the classroom as a teacher, but I rarely share my stories. Students usually cannot get me off track to talk about my personal life. Maybe I think I need a Ms. Jones to keep their attention. I didn't keep the attention of my newspaper journalism class one semester in having only 4 students to pre-register for the next semester. I changed the name to TV journalism, and suddenly 16 new faces pop in. I introduced TV production and am kept busy for the next 19 years. I'm visualizing stories again, not of Diver Dan tethered in his ocean walk, but of teenagers untethered in their walks throughout the school and beyond. Finally, I have my most serious introduction. It's when I retire and I have time to go to Toastmasters. I'm introduced to a grammarian who reports on language use, and to a timer who signals green, yellow, red, and a word master who uses a serious word and tallies the use of altruism throughout the meeting. And then there are the evaluators giving us the grows and the glows and that ah counter that hears what no one else should. If I could zoom that audience into a gallery view, I would have an audience like you, some serious listeners. Listeners like you are what encourage speakers like me to tell their stories. And you are so unlike that third grade class. You are all first class. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.